Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Beyond the Sewing Room. I'm Diane. So today I'm going to share with you a few more scrap busting or stash busting ideas, things that I've been up to this week, and I'm also going to share a little from a sewing book that I got from the library. A few ideas that I've seen in there that are great for using up odds and ends of scrap fabric, and a few of those I'm going to be trying myself as well. So first of all, I have been trying out a new pattern this week for work and made a few items from it. So I'm going to show you those because one of my stash busting projects this week has been based on this, because I made this pattern up for work. I made 3 items and then I made one again for myself using up some of my fabric. So what I made first of all was the t-shirt to this pattern. So it's New Look 6730. So it's this one, and it has the t-shirt with v-neck. You can make the long skirt or the short skirt, and you can also make the trousers or pants. Now, I've made all 3 items. First up, I made the v-neck top. Now, I really like this top. The neck comes together in a beautiful V. The only thing that I would change, because it's a jersey pattern, is it's got a zip in the back of the neck. Now, I don't really feel that this is necessary because it's jersey. So it does pull on quite freely over the head. Now I can see if you've got some mobility issues or you do find it difficult to pull things over your head, then this would be a great feature. So by all means leave it in. But for me, I found that when I came to try this on, I just pulled it on without undoing the zip. So for me, that means I don't need it there, and it's just an extra step we don't need. So all you need to do is omit the zip and just do a seam straight up the back of the neck. And also join your 2 back facing pieces together before you apply it to your t-shirt. So that was the first one. And then after that, I'll put that over here, I made the little skirt. You can see it's got an elastic waist and it's just a back and a front. So it's great for a beginner. And if you're wanting to make a few pieces for your holiday wardrobe and you want things that are really quick and easy, and also great to throw in the case that won't crease up and be comfy to wear, I think this is a great pattern for you because they're just so simple. They're quick to make. You can make it in different colours, or you could use things that you already have, or refashion a few bits and bobs, and it'll come together in no time at all. So you've just got a back and a front piece, hem, and a casing for the elastic. So that's the skirt. I will pop in a couple of images here if I can find them. And then I made the trousers. So it's a wide leg trouser. Again, just the front pieces, the back pieces, and a casing for the elastic. Now the casing is on the trousers as well, so you don't stitch on a separate piece. You just fold it over and either do a small hem or overlock, and then you just thread your elastic through. So once I made those, I thought that is a great one to use up the John Caldo fabric that I shared in my previous video, and I wasn't sure what to make with it. I also wasn't sure if it would be enough for some trousers, but it was just enough for these. So that's what I've done. So my first project that I'm going to share with you this week is these trousers. So I'm going to insert an image here because I have just taken a photograph of me in them. I am wearing this top, but of course I won't be wearing this with them. I'll either wear a plain deep red, a neutral, or a black. My other thought was there is a tiny amount left. I may be able to make a tiny vest or strappy top to go with this. And if I do that, it will make it look more like a mock jumpsuit. So I'm really pleased with those. These literally took less than an hour, maybe 45 minutes to sew up. Maybe not even that. I think only because I was faffing around with the casing, because I made it just a tiny bit narrow in one place, and then when I was pushing the elastic through, and it's quite thick elastic that I've used, it was getting jammed. So I had to undo a little bit. So that was entirely my fault. And I have added just a tiny bit of tape at the back here, and that's just to show me which is the back. Now if you tend to add your own labels, you will put one of those in there, but I've just used a little tab. So I'm really happy with those. So really great for your holiday wardrobe. If you're thinking of making a few little tops and trousers, give that one a go. So that's another piece used up. So that's that one. Now the next thing, I haven't made it up yet because I'm still in the planning stage of it, but I'm going to share it with you. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is yet, I'm just going to explain because I want to do it in a future video. Now I found this out, I think I shared this a few weeks ago, I'm not sure. This was in with my pieces that I had left from a t-shirt I made a while ago, and it's a big piece, and it's because this particular jersey was a really wide width, and I ordered it, I made up the t-shirt, and then I had all this left, but as you can see it's got a rather big chunk missing out of it in places where I've cut out my pattern pieces, but it's still quite a sizable piece, and I can usually get things out of quite small pieces, so I have a plan for a top for this. Now I'm going to use elements of this pattern, but it's not going to be this pattern, so that's all I'm telling you for now. Is the top will have a V, but it's going to be deeper than this, so I'm going to use this as a starting point, and also it's going to have a short sleeve, but the sleeve is going to be a little bit more flared out at the bottom than that, and it's my sleeve is going to have gathers, and then the front of the top is going to be different. Now all this will become clear in the next video I plan on doing, because I'm going to share with you what this is meant to look like. So this is one that I've seen in an image for a very expensive top that I've seen. It's in a different fabric, but I'm going to make mine in jersey because that's what I've got. So hopefully it will look just like it, even though it's in a different fabric, and I will do some images of them side by side so you can see. So that's all I'm telling you for now. So it's going to be in this red jersey, and it's going to be a short sleeve top, but it's not just going to be a t-shirt like this. So that's my next planned make. I'm going to get on with that at some point next week in between doing my work. And then I've got my other bits to show you. Now I've already filmed this bit yesterday, so I'm going to show you the sewing book that I got from the library, and also another little job that I've been getting on with this week, which is a great user up of fabric pieces. So I'll show you that now. So in other scrapbusting news, I thought I'd share a couple of things with you that I've been doing this week that are great for using up those odds and ends of fabric, and also this book that I got from the library, which has got some fantastic ideas in it. Now it does use Liberty fabrics in the book, but you could just use any that you have left over. So there's lots of little small projects that you could make and use up those bits. But first of all, I'm going to show you this project that I made for my mother-in-law. Now she went recently to buy some curtains and found that she couldn't get the size that she wanted, so she just recently decorated. She was looking for a very particular shade to go with the room, and she's just done up her bedroom. And then she found the perfect pair in the reduced section, but they were too long. Now this is not a problem because I can take them up. So she's bought the curtains, and they're quite a lot too long. Now I would say, if you're ever looking for curtains for a bedroom and you know you need other accessories, it's a good idea to buy them a little bit too long, especially if you sew or you know somebody that does, that can help you out, because you've then got that fabric to make those accessories, because they charge so much for the little cushions and sort of tie backs and bits and bobs that you need to just finish off the look. So this is what we've done. So the curtains were just amazing. They were reduced down from £65, £70, something like that, to about £12.50, because it was still on the price when she gave me the whole packet, all sealed up. And what we've done is I've made the tie backs and 2 cushions for the bed. And there's still a large piece of fabric left. So I would say it's a really good idea to do this. And of course, probably many of you know this already, but some people just don't think. Just buy them a little bit longer. You're going to have enough for a couple of scatter cushions, and the tie backs barely take up any room at all. I know not everybody uses them these days, but quite a lot of people still do like to tie them back. I've got them hanging freely in the bedroom, my curtains, but downstairs in the dining room I do have them tied back in that particular room because I like them well out of the way and to let in a lot of light. So this is the size of cushion, as you can see. I've done 2 like this, and then the zip is in the end. And what I did was I kept the backing of the lining on the fabric both sides, so it's doubled up just to make it thicker and more stable. And it is the kind of lining that can be washed, so you do have to watch out for that. A lot of them, if it's got blackout lining or anything like that, you wouldn't be able to do this because you need to take that off because it has to be dry cleaned. But these are washable, so this is fine. So I did 2 cushions like this, and then we've got a pair of tie backs like this with the little D-rings on. So they're just that shape, so they don't take up hardly any room at all. I need to give those another press actually. I've got a pair of those, and then there's a really large piece left from the other curtain because I only needed to use the excess that I cut from one curtain to make 2 cushions and 2 tie backs. So that's a stash busting project for you for this week. Not stash busting, scrap busting. I'm sure we've all had things like that where we've had to cut something off, but even if you're not cutting it off the curtains themselves, you can make these accessories with bits that you've got left that coordinate with your curtains and with your bedding and use it up that way. So that's one thing. Now before I go any further, I'll just mention what I'm wearing because this was a stash busting project from last year or the year before, from another project that I made. It was a sweatshirt that was 3 tones of sweatshirting fabric, and I had this small amount left. So if you watch this channel, you've probably seen this before, but it's the cross between a sweatshirt and a t-shirt. And it's just that little bit heavier for when a t-shirt's not quite enough. It's been raining and sort of cold on and off today. And I just used up the bits. It's self-drafted. It's got a little pleat in the sleeves here and a little tuck at the front. And as you can see, it just comes to the top of my jeans. And this is one way of using up sort of heavier fabrics that are not enough, not big enough for a sweatshirt. And you don't want to use sort of scrappy techniques, because I have used sort of patchwork on some sweatshirts before, which look really nice, but I know it's not for everybody. So you could do this, you could make a short sleeve sweater, or you could use one piece on the front, a contrast on the back, and do the sleeves in something else and just have it colour blocked in that way. And that doesn't use much fabric, and if you just have it sitting at your waistline like this with some kind of pleating or detail, that uses it up that way. Now for the smaller pieces, as I said, I've got this book. Now it's the Liberty Book of Simple Sewing. I did get this from the library, but you could look it up second hand or have a look online if you're interested. Now it is using Liberty fabrics throughout, but you could use anything. I mean, just show them off in a really pretty light using these fabrics, but I don't think it has to be Liberty. It could be any fabric of your choosing. Now I like this one for either a living room or a children's room. So here you've got sort of a cloud cushion. So that could be any size, or you could do a selection of sizes like this. So I think that one's really nice. I've just selected a few that I do like the look of. I'm going to share with you now. Then we'll have a little flick through at some of the others. So this one was something I've not thought of, and I have got a few picture frames. I would normally paint them, but this is a really good idea. So here they've been covered in fabric, so you could either use full pieces of fabric or patchwork it like they've done here. And I don't think there has to be any sewing involved, because what you could do is wrap it round and use paste and then go over it with a varnish, or you could just super glue it on, or you could just make a sort of slip cover if you didn't want to stick anything to your frame. But if you're covering it, you probably don't mind anyway. But I think that's a really good idea, and I've got a few picture frames that I'm not using, and I was thinking of some artwork for my kitchen. I'm thinking of doing this now. I've also found, well, I didn't find it, I found it on another site, somebody recommended it. It's called Upsplash, and you can download images from there that you like for your own artwork, for your walls, and it's all completely free. The other thing is if you print off your own pictures, of course, or get them out of magazines if there's some really nice ones that you can then add a border and an insert to, and then your picture frame. So I'm going to be having a go at that, try some of my own artwork. I'm going to use what I have around, so it's not going to cost anything. So I'm going to share that with you in another video. I just thought this was a really nice idea for using up scrap fabric, and one that, like I say, I'd not really thought of before. So the next one, now I have done this before, but I just think it looks so nice on this beige trench coat. So I have done the dog collars, I did those in a previous video, and I've covered buttons before, but I think they just really stand out on this particular Mac. And also the belt, making your own belt. So you could make belts to go with different dresses, especially if you've got dresses that are solid. You could make a patterned belt to make it really stand out. So I think that looks really nice. That's a good idea. And then this one, I have done these before, but I've just used my own template that I made myself. Now, there's templates in the back of this book if you're interested in it. So if you're not a person who likes to draw their own templates, they are all in the back of here. So you can trace these off and you've got everything there that you need. So it's these hanging birds. Now the ones I've made, I've got a little one of mine here that sits on one of my shelves. I just did my own template for this one, and I've got a bead eye, and then I've just done some embroidery on the wings. So I did this one ages ago, just when I was just in the mood just to make something small. And I did say at the time that I was going to make some more and hang them up, and I never got around to it. But I think I will do that now because they are really pretty. These ones have got pleated sort of plumage. So that's a really nice idea, and I think they would be nice for sort of Christmas time or to give as gifts as well. This next one is a garland with flowers. So again, I have done the flowers before, but I've put them on brooches. But I do like the idea of making a scrappy ribbon and then hanging them from a garland like this, and also making the leaves. And that can be a really fun way to sort of jazz up a space or change it up seasonally, depending on what colours you use. So that's a really nice idea. This one, I do a lot of bag making, so this is nothing new, but it's a nice idea to do the bag in a solid colour and then do all your pockets in the scrap fabrics, also with some binding around the top. So that particular one is a picnic bag. I'll show you a few other of the ideas in here. Of course there's quilting, there's always quilting for scrap projects, that's nothing new, is it? But here they've used stripes, so that's a nice one. Covering a footstool, obviously you'd need quite a large piece for that. And then things like sewing machine cover. As I say, all the templates are in, so if you are interested, you do get the instructions for all of these things in the book. There's things like children's pyjamas, but again, you'd need quite a large piece for those. This one is nice, it's a sewing room tidy. So just using a solid for the background and then your scrappy pieces for all the pockets. I think those were the main ones that I liked from this book actually. There's a rag doll template for that. And these cushions are really nice. So again, you're using up your bits on the cushions. And this sort of applique, again, I've done on bags before. So that's a nice way of using up little bits that you can't bear to part with that are really pretty. So please have a look for that if you're interested. You could check it out of the library like I did. Please go on the library system and put in the name. So the Liberty Book of Simple Sewing, that's it. That's all you need to put in. If you buy it new, at the time this particular edition was out, it was £20, so it's quite expensive. So I'd try and either get it that way or get it from the library if you can. So I hope you enjoyed that today. Please let me know in the comments below what you've been getting up to this week, what you're doing for Me Made May, and if you've been using up any of those scraps. This top, again, that I'm wearing today was another stash busting project from a while ago. I had this dress in my possession that I made some time ago. I'd found that it had become, well, it was always a little snug on me. Didn't feel that I wore it very often, and the sleeves were 3/4. And if you watched this video before, you'll have seen that I refashioned this into this top, which has these sleeves, which sort of gather into this straight bit, which I use the bottom of the skirt for to make this into. I've got it pulled up at the moment. A longer sleeve, with this sort of more gathered effect into the sleeve, and now it just feels much more comfortable. So if you have anything in your wardrobe that you feel that you're not wearing, have a good look at it and see what you can do with it. Are there things that you can change to make it more wearable? And I've wore this already lots this year since I changed it from that dress that was just hanging there into this top. Now I just wear it with jeans and skirts all the time. So it's probably going to become faded very quickly, but at least we're getting some life out of it. That's all from me for today. I'll be back soon with that project there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.